behalf of GGG Promotions and Golden Boy, HBO pay-per-view, and all our great sponsors, we are less than 3 weeks away from the fight we've been waiting years for. It's finally here, and boy, everyone can't wait. The main event is going to be the World Middleweight Championship. Defending champion Gennady Ggg Golovkin is on the phone with us today. He'll be answering questions about training camp and his expectations going into September 16th for the big pay-per-view. That'll be at T-Mobile Arena. We also have his Hall of Fame trainer Abel Sanchez and his promoter Tom Loeffler on the phone to answer questions. And without any delay, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Tom Loeffler, who will introduce both Abel and Gennady. Tom?
Thank you, Fred. Boy, we couldn't be more. As Fred mentioned, it's really the fight for not only the middleweight supremacy but boxing supremacy. The winner of this fight with these two champions, world-class fighters, the best middleweights in the world, there really be. I think the winner is really going to be considered the best fighter in the sport of boxing. We had a tremendous kickoff media day on Monday at LA Live, where we had over 3,000 fans there, tons of media. I mean, the interest for this fight now is really reaching a fevered pitch. We'd like to thank HBO. Had a tremendous debut of 24/7 last Saturday after the Cotto fight. The Under the Lights show will be premiering this Saturday, and then the second episode, which everyone's eagerly awaiting, will be after September 9th, when Chocolatito takes on Rungvisai in their rematch on the Superfly show. So that will be September 9th will be the second episode of 24/7. It's been a tremendous training camp. I know Abel's really pleased at how everything's going. I'll just put on Abel to say a few words, and then we can get straight into the questions for Triple G, for Abel or myself.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much to all the media that's tuned in. We're having a great training camp as always. We've been in camp since July the 1st, and probably by fight time we'll have two months and a couple weeks. So we're looking forward to a good fight, to a difficult fight, obviously, but that's the way all these fights at this level should be. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll wait for some questions.
Gennady, before we open up for questions, any comments? How's camp going, and how do you feel with this fight finally coming up? We're only 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks.
Yes, I feel great. Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm very excited for this fight. Yeah, I have like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks. My weight is good. I feel good. Everything is good. I'm okay. I'm great.
Well, you're okay. We're okay. Yeah, give instructions on how to ask questions and open it up for the queue.
Thank you. If you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you wish to be removed from the queue, please or the hash key. If you are using a speakerphone, you may need to pick up the handset first before pressing the numbers. And once again, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. And our first question comes from Dan Raphael with.
Can y'all hear?
You may begin.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I want to start with a question with Abel. Hi, Abel.
Good morning, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing great. As the trainer for Gennady, I'd like to hear your perspective on just basically how Gennady has been as far as like his excitement level, because I know how much he's wanted this fight, and I think you've wanted this fight for quite a while. Is there like an additional spring in his step as he gets ready for the fight that he's really wanted compared to some of the other ones that were maybe not as anticipated as this? And could you describe what you see in him?
Absolutely. There's been a sparkle in his eye, but it's not so much just because of this fight. It could have been any big name fight that was out there. Just so happens that this is the one that was made, that was able to be made. He's just been a little frustrated the last couple of years that he hasn't had that marquee name to step up and want to fight him. The names go on, but happy that it is finally here. It's 2.5 weeks away, and couldn't be more excited myself or him. Like I said, he's sparkle in his eyes. is a little bit different than it has been. And that's exciting for me because I know we're going to get a great fight.
When this fight is over, and if Gennady is victorious, what do you think that will mean for the way he's remembered in boxing? Because a lot of people see he has this great record, great knockout streak, but it lacks for star power in terms of the names on the record.
Well, I think that Canelo fighting Mayweather a couple years ago, whatever that was, I think stamps him as a bona fide elite fighter, let's just say. If Golovkin, or when Golovkin does to him in 16th, what I think he's going to do to him, it'll stamp Golovkin as a superstar because I think he's going to dominate him and do what Floyd couldn't do. The 16th is a pivotal period, a pivotal day in Gennady's career, and I think how people are going to remember it. But we still have the 16th to go, so hopefully after the fight I'm telling you the same thing.
All right, great. Abel, thank you. I also had a couple of questions for Gennady. Gennady.
Hi, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Piggybacking on what I asked Abel about, can you describe to me what you think a victory would mean for your legacy in boxing? Because you've got a lot of wins, a lot of knockouts, as I said. You had that great knockout streak, but for a variety of reasons, you have yet to get the opportunity to face one of the true stars in boxing until this point. So what would that mean for the way you're remembered?
It's huge. It's huge for me. Right now, maybe I'm not the same type of man. And seriously, right now, I want to fight. I want to win fight because it's maybe, for me, this win, maybe like a history fight. It's like a, Leonardo Hagler, like that. Very close. Middleweight division, they say, I believe boxing division come back. And Canelo, he's a very special guy, and very special guy. I'm champion. Right now, for us, it's huge. And special for me, it's huge.
Can you just describe, as I asked Abel about, you've prepared yourself and always been in great shape for your fights, but sometimes they were fights that everybody sort of expected you to win very easily. I think this fight is a fight that there's a division that people think you're going to win, and some people think that Canelo Alvarez is going to win. So just give me your perspective on finally being in a fight that there's some doubt in, that people think, hey, maybe the other guy might win, and how excited you are for that kind of competition.
Dan, I can jump in on that. This is definitely the closest odds of any fight that Gennady's been involved in, and I think that's what makes this so intriguing. Is that 50% of the people think Canelo's going to win, and 50% of the people think Gennady's going to win, and that's where I think the outcome.
I'll be back.
Is definitely in doubt, and it makes it that much bigger of an event. Gennady can add to that if he wants.
Tom, do you have an opinion about what it would mean for the way people look back at, his career's not over, obviously, but the way they remember, his legacy? Everybody needs that one big victory to kind of stamp themselves as a true great.
100%. As Gennady said, this is a legacy fight for him. He's had so many knockouts in his career. He holds the highest knockout percentage of the middleweight division. If there's any criticism that people have of Gennady is the level of competition, but they have to look at the opponents, not at Gennady. We've had a terrible time getting people in the ring with them, and that's why we had respect for all the people that had gotten in the ring with him previously. But this is clearly, Canelo's a proven pay-per-view star. The event is sold out in Vegas. Gennady brings his fan base. This just brings, the sum of both fighters is much bigger than themselves individually. So, both from an international level and just a competition level. And I think a win September 16th definitely puts that stamp on Gennady's career. Look, if he beats Daniel Jacobs in March and then beats Canelo Alvarez in September, I don't know too many fighters that have a better year than that.
All right, very good. Thank you, Abel and Triple G. And Tom, appreciate your time.
Thanks. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
And our next question comes from Dylan Hernandez with the Los Angeles Times. You may begin.
Hi, Gennady. I just wanted a 24/7 the first episode of that, and I know you talked there about the first part of your career, what you spent over in Europe, and kind of being frustrated that it wasn't going the way you wanted, that you weren't getting the fight that you wanted. When you came over to the United States, and you kind of got like a second go at it, so to speak. How confident were you that it was going to lead to something like this?
Right now it's a different time for me. I feel right now it's very comfortable. A long time ago, this was a dream coming to the United States. My United States, my position is huge. My family, everybody support me, respect my team, and my promotion. Right now, my dream is real.
Dylan, this is the fight that we've been working for. I mean, every fight in Gennady's career, really since he made his HBO debut September 12th, this is almost 5 years to the day, and every fight since then, this is really the fight that we've been working for. It would have been great if he had this type of a fight earlier in his career, but as I mentioned, the other name opponents weren't, or the other champions even weren't willing to get in the ring with them, and now that Canelo has agreed, this is really all the knockouts, all the training, all the hard work, all the sacrifice that Gennady's made has been built this exact fight in his career.
And Tom, one question for you. So when Gennady comes to you, obviously he's not a 22-year-old, 23-year-old prospect dealing with kind of a limited amount of time. What was kind of your blueprint, I guess, to get him to this point? Obviously, I know you've taken him back east to maybe try to expand his foothold out there. What was kind of the plan to get him to this point?
Well, the blueprint was, when we met with HBO, we said Gennady would fight anyone. They had a list of 20 fighters, 20 names of different fighters, anywhere from 154 to 168, and Abel and Gennady didn't turn down any one of those, and that was that blew HBO away. They've never been used to someone willing to fight everyone, and they realized, if there wasn't a fight that was able to be made, it wasn't on the Triple G side. I was very transparent with all the negotiations, everyone that we reached out to, and the first step was, Madison Square Garden took a very strong interest in Triple G, and he had 2 fights at the theater. He sold out those fights, and then we moved to the big room in Madison Square Garden. So that was really the plan, is to build him in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Then when he came over here to the StubHub Center in LA, he broke the attendance record. So that was the blueprint, not to build him in small casinos, that were obscure, that really didn't bring the type of media attention, because I knew with someone of Gennady's talent and his pedigree and just his willingness to fight, that we need to build him in the biggest markets. And a lot of people are surprised, after he's fought in 7 countries and 22 different cities, that this will be the first time he's fighting in Las Vegas. But this is really that type of event, that type of crown jewel event to make his debut in Las Vegas. And we see the fan reaction, all the fans coming in internationally to come see him fight, both supporting him and supporting Canelo. And we followed the blueprint. Naturally, I had all these plans outside the ring, and Abel had his plans as far as the training. But if Gennady didn't perform inside the ring, the best laid plans wouldn't have happened. So Gennady had to perform in the ring. He always was an exciting fight, and that led his performances in the ring, and all the hard work outside the ring led to building this fight right now.
All right, thanks so much, guys, and best of luck on the 16th.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thanks.
And our next question comes from George Willis with the New York Post. You may begin.
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
I'll be back.
Hey, George.
First of all, I wanted to get Gennady's reaction to Conor McGregor's comment that he wasn't very impressed with either Canelo or Triple G. He called them a bit boring and flat-footed. So I wanted to get Gennady's reaction to that.
It's not correct, too. Because, McGregor, he's not the boxer. I don't have reaction. Not surprising. Nothing.
Abel, do you have any reaction to that?
I think you have to consider the source. You're talking about a guy that never fought fought an amateur fight, never been in the ring with an elite fighter, commenting on something that he knows nothing about.
All right, Tom, I wanted to ask you, with that other fight over, do you think it actually is bringing more attention to this fight because, you know, this is what everybody is saying is the quote-unquote real fight?
I think so, George. Look, that had a tremendous amount of attention to the fight. You know, just to be clear, I think from you know, the Triple G side and the team, you know, we're certainly not negative about Conor McGregor. I think you know, just the fact of what he's accomplished in the UFC, he's clearly the most marketable fighter that they've had, and he's shown a lot of you know, tremendous heart in the fights that he's had. It's just you know, Gennady's a purist, and you know, he didn't look at that as a true boxing match. It'd be the same thing as if Floyd went into the octagon. I'd be willing to bet that Conor lasted a lot longer in the boxing ring than Floyd would have in the octagon. So, you know, we don't want to be negative on either Conor or on the event, but I think it definitely brought a lot of mainstream attention to that event, and then we're just working on capitalizing on that momentum, and you know, the boxing fans realize that this is the true fight, the true boxing match with the two best fighters in the middleweight division, and I think that's what the real boxing fans are looking forward to.
And what does it say that your event is sold out, and theirs was, I think, 14,000 and change? Do you think that was all pricing, or is there some other message in there?
I think it was pricing. Clearly, there was a huge demand for tickets for their event, but I don't know. I wasn't involved in that event. I don't know the internal workings on it, but from the outside, I heard that the tickets were extremely highly priced, and you know, I think maybe some of the UFC fans that were used to much lower prices for some of their biggest events weren't willing to pay those higher prices. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. It wasn't for lack of attention, because they certainly got, you know, you saw the Irish fans in Las Vegas and everything like that. It probably would have just been a component of overpricing the tickets as opposed to the people that were willing to afford to pay those prices.
Mm-hmm. And is this the kind of matchup that can make, well, both of these fighters, pay-per-view stars in the realm of, you know, getting 800,000 to 1 million buys consistently?
I think so. I really think building on with the numbers that Canelo did 1 million buys against Chavez, and you see the fan base that Gennady brings. I think they complement each other perfectly. I mean, Canelo has, you know, his fans, his diehard fans that are going to buy his pay-per-view fights, you know, buy the tickets, and then when you add that component, this is the first time that Gennady has fought someone that actually, you know, has a more established name, especially on the pay-per-view side, than he has. So before, it seemed like he was always carrying the promotions, you know, when we couldn't get, you know, one of the bigger names, you know, some of the biggest champions in the ring with them, and now this fight with Canelo, now we'll see, you know, how much bigger of an event this will be, where Gennady brings his fan base. He sold out, I think, the last 7 arenas that he's fought at, and that's from New York to London to LA. You know, every time he fought, he had a sold out arena, and then you bring in Canelo, who had over 50,000 people at Cowboy Stadium against Liam Smith. When you bring these two marketing forces, not only, the important thing here, George, is not only are these the two best boxers in the division, but two of the most marketable fighters in the sport of boxing, and I think that's what really makes this a very unique event. You don't have that type of matchup very often in the sport.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Thank you.
And our next question comes from Bernard Fernandez with Sweet Science. You may begin.
Yeah, this question is for Gennady. If successful, this will be his 19th middleweight title defense. The record is held by Bernard Hopkins with 20. Obviously, that's within range. People thought that might last for a very long time. Bernard Hopkins is an executive with with Golden Boy, which has Canelo.
They have ever faced.
How much would setting that record mean to Gennady, to you, Gennady? And also, the second part of that question is, have you ever imagined how you would fare prime on prime against some of the great middleweights in history, specifically Hopkins, but also guys like Carlos Monzon and Marvin Hagler?
Right now it's not big interest for me, the Bernard record. Yeah, Bernard, he is huge, but he's huge. His story, in the middleweight division, his long story. I don't know. I remember a lot of great champions who were like Carlos Monzon, Sugar Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins. Right now I think new story, new time for us. For me it's huge. Absolutely. We say long time in the middleweight division, big champion is huge.
Abel, could I ask you the same question? I mean, Gennady is approaching historical milestones. Where do you think he would rate on the all-time list of great middleweight champions?
I don't think he's ever really contemplated how he was going to feel or breaking Bernard's record. He respects Bernard a heck of a lot. But obviously we have been in the business a long time, you and I and Tom, and we know that all these records were meant to be broken. It just, Bernard's seemed like it was unreachable. Gennady, on a pace that he's going, could end up with 5-6 more wins in the middleweight division. So it would be historical. As far as how he would fare, it's a different era. I think that Carlos Monzon was a great fighter. So was Joey Robinson. So was all those guys in their era. I think that everybody has an era. I don't know how he would have fared against those guys. I would have liked to have seen him fight Bernard in his prime, because I think Bernard, or even Roy Jones in his prime, because I think those were, that I remember that I saw, physically saw myself, those were great fighters. But hopefully this era will be Golovkin's era, as Roy and Bernard have theirs.
One last question, and this is for Gennady or whoever wants to jump in on it. We just had a situation where, for the first time since Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor were the only two people since the late 1980s to hold all four of the titles, including the WBO. Terence Crawford just accomplished that. After this, would going after that one missing title that that Gennady now held by Billy Joe Saunders, I mean, would that be a priority? I mean, how important is having all the titles to him?
Go ahead, Tom.
Bernard, maybe I can jump in on my side. Ever since Gennady won the WBA middleweight championship, and he was the undefeated WBA middleweight champion, the Olympic silver medalist, he's wanted to fight the best in the division. That's the only way he could prove that he was the best, not only in the middleweight division, but one of the best in the sport of boxing. And it was just so hard at the time. When Felix Sturm was considered one of the top middleweights in the world, and he was a mandatory for 2 years. Sturm did everything he could to avoid that fight. Then when Sergio Martinez was considered the best middleweight, and Gennady would have loved a matchup between to unify his WBA title with Sergio's WBC title. Unfortunately, Sergio chose to fight Cotto at the time, which then Cotto lost to Canelo. So it's just been very difficult getting other champions to agree. We have a lot of respect for David Lemieux. As soon as he won the IBF title, he agreed to fight Triple G. But I think champions saw that and saw the 8-round domination of one of the biggest punchers in the middleweight division, another champion, and it makes it hard to make those fights. I mean, Terence Crawford, I give him a lot of credit where he unified the title, but I think fighting a guy that had 2 titles and was willing to fight him for a reasonable amount of money. I mean, when we talked to Saunders, I mean, you're talking about telephone numbers that he wants just to get in the ring with them. And if you're confident, Gennady, there was an old story where, his managers were negotiating with Eddie Hearn to come to England, and all they wanted was some tickets and a logo on the mat. When you're a confident champion, you don't ask for those astronomical numbers if you really think you can win the fight. If you think you're going to lose the fight or you think you're going to get knocked out, then that's when people start pricing themselves out, and that's what's made it so difficult to unify the division. And that's why I think this fight with Canelo, look, if Gennady looks good against Canelo and performs the way we all believe he'll perform, then it opens up a lot of doors. Then he's in a whole different financial realm in terms of the monies that we're able to offer people. But if you can't get the other champions to fight, then you can't unify the titles, and that's the situation that we've been faced the last 6 years.
Well, the thing you said about HBO, you agreed to all 20 names. A lot of those guys have ducked Gennady. I presume that a victory in this fight, not just because of the money, but all roads would have to go through him. I mean, maybe the people that ducked him before would have no choice, but if they want to do anything, but to go to him, right?
That's true, and like I said, I think if he's victorious September 16th, he'll be. Canelo is still considered the Ring magazine and lineal middleweight champion. So there's still some people out there that think Canelo should be rated above Triple G. So I think after this fight, there'll be no question. The winner of this fight will absolutely be, if Canelo wins, he'll be considered the best middleweight. And if Gennady wins, he'll be considered the best middleweight. And again, probably one of the best in the entire sport. If Triple G is successful, then I think it'll open up a lot of doors. And I think, people, they'll really have no excuse at that point to not to fight him. And I think that's where, Gennady's career is going to be defined, is not the first part of his career. I think, with the Jacobs fight, then the Canelo fight, and then what happens afterwards, I think that's how his career is going to be defined as a middleweight champion.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Bernard.
Thank you.
And our next question comes from Sarah Deming with HBO Digital. You may begin.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for taking the time. Gennady, I'm writing about your coach right now, and I want to know when the bell rings and the fight starts, what words of Abel's do you have in your mind, or what advice from him is there?
Hello.
Hello, Gennady.
What does he usually say to you before a round begins, Gennady? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Patient. Patient. Patient? Yeah.
Patience.
Abel, is that basically the gist? Usually, yes. That's that, and I may say whatever it is that we discussed right prior in the dressing room about what we wanted to do. But most of it is patience, because actually the first fight that I ever worked with him was a fight in Panama where he got a little wild on me, and he knocked the guy in the first round, but he got a little more wild than I wanted him to do. So when he came back to the corner, that was my chastising him. That was I was scolding him for that. And so every time that we're in the beginning of a fight, I always say patience. Patience. Just be patient. Go out there and see. That's why you see him going out there and analyzing the first round. Really doesn't do that much, and analyzing until he gets his distance and he gets the idea what the other guy's going to do. And that comes because he's patient and just looking for the opportunity.
That's great. And Gennady, I'm wondering what's different about Abel than other trainers you had in Kazakhstan?
Wow.
When you think of what Abel taught you the most, something that he did.
Different times, different guys, different everything. More professional, professional style, very different, like amateur, everything. Different age, way
don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Gennady's really, just to jump in there, Gennady's had the best of both worlds, where, you know, the Kazakh amateur program is one of the best programs in the world, where he had that real solid foundation. I think that's where a lot of his discipline and, you know, the sacrifice that he goes through, I think that came from the Kazakh amateur program. And he had a lot of punching power, just kind of natural punching power. He had a lot of knockouts in the amateurs, but then when he got to Abel's gym and then Abel's philosophy and his training, I mean, really training in the Mexican style, Gennady, Abel was able to add a more professional style to Gennady, where he's one of the best of cutting off the rings, cutting off the ring and putting constant pressure on his opponents, and that's where, you know, either they're knocked out by one shot or they're just worn down, as we've seen in some of the fights. They just can't take the constant pressure, and I think what Abel was able to build on you know, an already established fighter in the amateurs and the pros, I think it's just taken Gennady's career to a completely different level.
Abel, how long did it take for you to transfer him into a Mexican-style fighter, and what did that take?
I think it's an ongoing process, but I think going on what Tom said too, I don't think there's enough. Sometimes it's not enough credit given to what they bring us. Yeah, we're lucky that we're in the position to be able to develop them after. But if we don't get that good foundation, and the Kazakh system is known in the last 10 years for creating great amateur fighters. But if they give us that foundation, it's a lot easier for us to continue to develop the more TV-friendly kind of style. It's an ongoing, to answer your question, Fred, it's an ongoing thing. But I think when he first, after the first 4 or 5 fights, he started to understand what his role was inside the ring. To be able to sell, to be able to give Tom and Herman Brothers the ability to be able to market him. We have to do that inside the ring, and they do it outside. But if we don't give them something to market, then it's impossible for them to do their job.
Abel, is it hard to teach a fighter patience who has that killer instinct?
It's hard to teach a fighter patience that wants to just fight, a natural fighter that just wants to fight. But being prepared and having those times in the gym where you know going into a fight that you're in the best shape you could ever be, mentally and physically, it's a lot easier because you're not in a hurry to do anything. You know that the time will come when that opportunity will present itself and you're ready. But also, I go back to the Kazakh system. With 350 amateur fights and the success he had as an amateur, there's nothing he hasn't seen. There's no style he hasn't seen. There's no size he hasn't seen. There's no shape. So it's easier to be patient when there's nothing that can surprise you.
That's great. And Tom, I have one last question. Tom, can you comment on the importance of Abel and his training and his legacy to the brand of Triple G from a business perspective?
Oh, I think what Abel brings to the table. I mean, Abel's had, you know, some many world champions in the past. I mean, it's just now with the success of Triple G, where he's getting the recognition and the accolades of, Trainer of the Year. I think the last 2 years received that award. But Abel's training system. Abel just brings that calmness in the corner, but the value he adds to Gennady's career is the fact that he's instilled in Gennady, look, you need to put on a show for the fans. You need to put on an entertaining fight, so the fans that buy the tickets, the fans that tune into HBO or buy the pay-per-view, they feel like they've gotten their money's worth. And Gennady is not one of those fighters that dances around the ring for 12 rounds and then tries to collect a paycheck. He wants to put on entertainment. The fans that come to the arena or tune in on TV to his fights, they know there's going to be an exciting fight. He's never been in a dull fight, regardless of which style he's fought. Gennady Golovkin's never been in a dull fight, and that's what the fans, that's the box office draw that Abel has created out of Gennady. Naturally, Abel having his Mexican heritage and being able to teach Gennady some Spanish words and things like that, that just brings a whole different level to Gennady's career. But I think it's just the fact that he's created such a entertaining style and entertaining fighter, and that's allowed us on the marketing and promotional side to highlight what Gennady's accomplished in the ring.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen, and good luck.
Thank you.
If I get a question, it'll likely be at the end. What do you want me to ask?
Sean Krause with Boxing Insider. You may begin.
Hi, how are you? This question is just for GGG. Champ, I have a question for you. You become very popular when you fought in Southern California. I'm wondering, though, how's it going to be now knowing that you are not going to be the most popular fighter entering the ring? Is this going to have an effect on you at all, or is it something you've prepared for?
Yeah, probably in Las Vegas. No, just interest. No, just yeah, in LA, maybe for me. In New York, maybe for me. Just maybe. I don't know, Dallas, Texas, or Vegas, maybe probably for Canelo.
I think it's not so much the more popular fighter going in the ring. I think it's the more popular fighter going out of the ring. And if Gennady gets the victory September 16th, I think he'll become the most popular fighter in the sport. If you can beat a proven champion like Canelo, such a marketing draw, that just takes Gennady's career to a different level. And I think what he was saying before is that he's fought in New York, I think 6 times now. So in New York, he would be more popular than Canelo. In Las Vegas, since Canelo has fought there many times, Canelo, is probably more popular in Las Vegas. So it just depends. In the UK, if you take Triple G to the UK, the boxing fans love him over there, and he's more popular in the UK, for example. So it just depends on the market, but that's what brings this international flavor to this event.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to add a little bit to that, but being a Latin, being a Mexican, I think that we just enjoy a good fight. In the Latin base.
We're going to ask about 168. That's one of my questions.
As long as they put up the kind of fight that we expect as Mexicans or as Latins, I think we're going to be happy with whomever wins, and we're going to support both.
Great. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All the best.
Cynthia, I think we have time for one more questioner. We'll get a few questions in from the last person, and then we'll wrap it up.
And our next question comes from Rob Huff with FightNews.com. You may begin.
Thank you, and good morning. Triple G sounds like he's on a spaceship out near Jupiter, but we'll take a shot at it, and maybe Abel can help out with his question because it relates to him as well. Gennady looked fantastic at the event in Los Angeles, but as we all know, 35 isn't 30, it's not 25. Can the fighter and the trainer talk about how his body is different at 35, how it feels different in training, and how the training is different from how it was 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, thank you very much for your compliment. Yeah. I feel great. I feel the same. Seriously, I don't know, just my training every day, just the same. Just, as my coach, just my sparring, the same, just tough, like my speed, my power. I don't lose, just, I feel like tennis pro, right now, yeah, right, 35. I feel like 25. Maybe inside, maybe right now I'm younger now. I'm 25. I feel like.
Abel, you want to comment on his sparring and how you see him in the gym now?
Yeah, obviously, as a coach, you take into consideration the years, the age, but he's doing the same things now, harder now, because he's on a different level than he was, let's just say, 4 or 5 years ago. He's still working as hard as he was before, not slacking off, I'm not having to make any concessions for being 35 years old. We're doing the same things we did in the past. But about 5 or 6 fights ago, 7 fights ago, maybe I cut down the rounds of sparring, but that's really the only thing that I've done different. But then I didn't do it because of age. I did it because he just comes to camp in such a state that I don't have to abuse him in camp. I can leave a lot in him by working him less because he's in shape when he comes to camp. We're not losing 25 pounds. So it's easier for me as a coach to be able to get out of him what I need and get him ready to peak right before fight time.
And second question for both, something that Abel touched on earlier in the conversation. Hey, maybe there's, subsequent to this, upwards of 5 or 6 more defenses at middleweight. Gennady, are you comfortable with the thought of fighting for another couple, 3 years, maybe longer? How, you want to be fighting like Mr. Mayweather at the age of 40? And
yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I hope so. Just right now I feel good. Probably like maybe 40, maybe 5 years more. This is boxing. Every day difficult, dangerous. Probably one punch change life. Right now I feel great. My speed, my everything. My family, my team support me. I feel very comfortable. Just probably 5 years more.
I think that if we're able to secure the kind of fight that motivate him mentally, physically they're always in shape. Obviously, all great fighters like that are always in shape, but the mental part of it is so important because you have to be motivated for a fight. If Tom and the Herman brothers and the powers that be can get him the kind of fight that motivate him and want him to come back in the gym and work just as hard as he does for all fights, then yes, I could see him fighting that long. But I think as an if, that's the big if.
No concerns about the possible long-term effects of boxing and getting punched in the head?
No, remember, he's probably been a pro less than Canelo's been a pro. And his fight's a heck of a lot shorter than Canelo's fight. So Canelo's the one that's really got the wear and tear on him, not Golovkin. Canelo's got 49 fights. Golovkin's got, 36, 37, whatever it is that he has. And his fights have been shorter. And he turned pro in 2006. I believe Canelo's been a pro a little bit longer than he has. So, no, we don't have the long periods of training camps like we used to for the other fighters. That helps, and then his fights being shorter helps. If he's motivated to fight on another 3 or 4 years, then he should. If he doesn't have it in him, then he should. But I think that if we do good on the 16th, I think the public will ask for him to fight on, and as long as he keeps fighting the way that I know he can, the public will keep asking for that. Hopefully, Tom can put those together.
Hey, good stuff. I appreciate some thoughtful and candid answers. Best sportsman on the 16th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, just a reminder that HBO Sports will be airing the special Under the Lights Canelo Golovkin this Saturday evening at 10 p.m. East Coast and West Coast on HBO. And episode 2 of 24/7, Canelo Golovkin, will premiere the following week, Saturday, September 9 on HBO, immediately following Tom's terrific card with all the super flyweights at StubHub Center. Tom, any last comments before we head to trainer and fighter?
I tell you, we can't be more excited about this fight. It's really the crescendo of we've had a banner year for boxing in 2017, even with the Mayweather-McGregor fight. I mean, it just the spotlights that's been shown on the sport of boxing has never been brighter, or not for a long time, than we've seen this year, and this really seems to be the main event of the year. So we're excited about this fight. Fred, as you mentioned, the Superfly show, September 9th. Don't miss that. That'll be on HBO with the second airing of 24/7. And this is really this is the fight that everyone on the Triple G side has been working hard for. We give Canelo a lot of credit. We give the Golden Boy side a lot of credit for being extremely cooperative with the co-promotion, the MGM properties up in Las Vegas, and just looking forward to Gennady's premiere not only in Las Vegas but at the T-Mobile arenas, one of the most premier arenas around the world. And naturally, we can't leave out HBO. It's just been a tremendous partner for Gennady's career, and very thankful for all their support.
Thanks, Tom. Abel, any last words? And do you still feel like you're 25 like Gennady does?
Not after he hits the mitts with me. Not after he pounds on my shoulders. No, I feel that we're spinning very hard to be well prepared to give the fans, not to disappoint the fans, and to give the fans the kind of fight that they expect from us. I know Canelo is training just as hard, so hopefully that night will be a magic night for boxing and for all of us.
Thanks, Abel. Gennady, we'll let you have the final word. Any last words to the media?
Yes, of course, yeah. Just thank you very much, everybody. Just I respect boxing. If you respect boxing like me, watch my fight at the 15 HBO. Just welcome to my fight.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Gennady, Abel. Thank you, Tom. And just a reminder, live on pay-per-view at a special time. It'll be 8 p.m. East Coast, 5 o'clock West Coast on Saturday, September 16th, live on HBO pay-per-view. We look forward to seeing everybody out there fight week, and thank you again for joining us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes.
Can you hear me? Let me fucking fix this shit. There we go. Yeah, man, we didn't find out shit, you know, or did we? Let me hold up. Let me fix. Why is this all fucked up? Do we move this over here? What did I do wrong? Fucking with shit. There you go. You know, these media calls can be pretty frustrating. So basically, if you don't know, that was all live. And how it works is, I say, it's like 50%. I'm on every media call. I even have a playlist of close to probably about 50 media calls I've been on. 50 of those calls live. And how it works is they tell you to push *1, right, to get your name in the queue. So they don't go by like who push. You just don't be like you know. You just don't go push. It don't matter how fast you push it. That's what she said. You gotta like they always start with ESPN Dan Rayfield first. They always start with ESPN Dan Rayfield first. So, of course, he got to ask the ESPN Dan Rayfield questions. The shit you see him write about, the shit you see him tweet about. Then they start going to, like, the New York Times and the LA Times and the New York Post, boxing scene. And then they start working their way down to like my level. So normally if I get a question in, it'd be at the end. But this time, just like the Cotto fight, what did we learn from that media call? Nothing. You want to know what my question was going to be? In fact, I'm going to tell you what my question was going to be. I'm going to show you what my question was going to be. Also, we're going to look at the undercard. How long have we been live? We started at 1. It's 1:53 now. We've been live for 53 minutes. We could push this to a 2-hour show. I'm going to tell y'all some real shit. Yesterday was my birthday. I said I wasn't going to drink, but I did some drinking. And man, oh man, have I been hungover. I used to be able to do that drinking shit, man, like every day. Like in my younger days now, like I drink probably like once every 2 weeks or so, some shit like that. You know, I'll get like a Jack on the Rocks or some shit, you know. Get an old fashioned, but now I can't do it. So I got a lot of work to do. We covered, thank you to the newest member of Fight View 360, Rob Suarez, who was at the media workout for both of the fighters yesterday. What was that, yesterday or the day before? It was the other day, I think it was. I don't know. Like I said, the last 2 days been a blur, you know. So I did the whole birthday thing, turned 34, and now I realized, like, yo, I can't do that drinking shit no more, man. I just can't do it. So, moving on. I'm going to the fight. It is official. You know I said I was going to go to Mayweather McGregor, but the good thing is we got somebody there. So, even if I wasn't there, we were there. In fact, you want to see? This is what I worked on earlier today. So, basically, we're going to talk about the fight, but I want to make sure you guys know that I'm not just some media member here just to be, you know, on some bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I am here to make sure we talk about the real issues, the real shit in boxing, and also to make sure everything I talk about in these videos, guess what? We can back that shit up now. So, it's to a point now where my credibility is so high that if anything that I say don't happen or whatever, then call me out. Put me out there. I be announcing fights before they be happening and shit just by knowing people in the business. They be like, oh, yeah, such and such is getting booked as a arena on this date. Oh, yeah, I'm with the money team. And they said, you know. But anyway, I'm very proud of this man. And we just became friends. And I was supposed to be out there. Long story short. Oh, wait, not that. Long story short, I was supposed to be out there, but let me see. Where's it at? It's in my Dropbox. Hold on. But yeah, I'm going to Canelo Golovkin. Damn it, where's it at? Is it here?
Quick question from Chris Ridgway, the Sportsman. Comments over here. Floyd.
Hey.
Chris Ridgway from the Sportsman. First off, congratulations,
now.
not just on tonight, but on 50 fights that have gone your way. Congratulations, well played, sir. The people that we've spoken to ahead of this fight, when we've asked them...
So basically, okay, I told you guys, we're working on some things here. We have some very powerful affiliations, and we have some growing and powerful sponsors. So, not only am I the owner and editor-in-chief of FightView 360, but I'm also the American correspondent for the Sportsman over in the UK, which is a, hey, I'll show you. This is what I have this for. This is I'm supposed to be doing this. So basically, I want you guys to show some love. We bring in, hold up, where's it at? Right here. So, if I tell y'all to go follow some shit on Instagram or Twitter, go follow. Basically, this is the website I'm working with now. They've been around for like since 1865. But he covered the fight. And now, since he covered Mayweather-McGregor and I didn't meet him out there, I was supposed to be out there with him covering the fight. But I didn't send the email. Like, I filled out the application, but they wanted you to fill out the application and then send a long-ass detailed email on why they should let you into the fight. Now, long story short, I made some friends at Showtime and Swanson Communications, the people who handle all that. So I could have got in. You know, let's just leave it at that. But when it comes to Canelo versus Golovkin, he did his part for Mayweather-McGregor. I'm trying to find one of his interviews. He did his part for Mayweather-McGregor, so he can't come over here for Canelo Golovkin. So now it's my time to show, you know, that, all right, you know, you did that. Thank you, bro. So now I'm going to show you, you know, that I'm going to cover Canelo versus Golovkin for you. And then, you know, can't nobody tell me shit. So let's get to the fight. Let's get to the fight. You listen, and I'm going to tell y'all, I said this before. I run a hardcore show. We are hardcore boxing fans. Even though I'm a boxing media member, understand that my job is to sell fights. You shouldn't care how I sell the fights. My job is to sell fights. I didn't make it this far without being able to run my mouth. All right? So I'm going to tell you, and the other media members can't tell you like I'll tell you, but you goddamn no good sinner scumbag pieces of shit, you better buy this fucking fight. You bet we're not going to talk about Mayweather versus McGregor until I do my next video. But when it comes to if I know the numbers, or I'm in the loop, I've sobered up and I'm in the loop. But it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. When I learned what those numbers was for Ward Kovalev and Kovalev Ward, I knew that you boxing fans weren't shit. But you motherfuckers got that money for the money grab, didn't you? You paid for that. And I've been telling you for months now since the fight was official. I said, listen, if you buy the money grab fight, put your money, put that $65, $75 aside, because Canelo Golovkin gonna be 3 weeks later. I said, put the money aside. You know, don't buy no sneakers or no dumb shit you be buying. If you call yourself a boxing fan and you want to be talking about how Golovkin resume is this or that, and he ain't fight this or that, put some money into the sport. Y'all said y'all wasn't buying that fight, but guess what? The numbers don't lie. You did. You bought it. You bought it. And don't count me. It's my job to buy it. Unlike these other scumbag reporters who tell you to stream fights. I never tell people. I hate it. I hate it. However, I do have to admit, I have to stream UK fights. It pisses me off. It pisses me off because I like that power to be able to fucking fast forward and rewind, and you know, they got to make it easier. They got to make it easier. I would pay for Box Nation if I could. However, Sky Sports can't do it. It's just, you can't buy Sky Sports over here in the States. But anyway, whatever the case may be, man, this is a fight that means so much. For example, if Canelo loses, what are people going to say? Oh, he finally fought somebody his side and got beat the fuck up. One of the hoodies on sale, we're working on it. I'm waiting for some money to come in, a very significant amount of money. You know, I'm hoping I have it before I go to Vegas, and then we're going to launch our apparel at the end of the year. Close to the end of the year. We want to have, I came up with the idea of Fight View 360 August the 15th of last year. I launched the website, even though it's not active, in January. And now we're at the point where the website is about to get extremely active because I brought on a professional web developer, but all this shit costs money. So, you know, obviously the saying goes to make money, you got to spend money, you know, but right now I'm tired of not making any money. You know, and I put so much in because when you're sending people to fights, right, you have to pay them to go to fights, you know? You have to take care of their expenses. So I only make about $150 a month off of this shit. Real rap. I've showed the numbers. But anyway. I feel that this fight could do, if it does 1.5 million, it's successful. But however, remember they said that Canelo versus Cotto or Cotto versus Canelo? You know, they said Cotto versus Canelo was going to do 2.5 million and all that shit. Remember that? That shit did 900K. Oh yeah, trust me. I know if I sold the hoodies, like, the shit would make money. But see, the stuff you see me wearing is prototype shit. You see what I'm saying? The stuff, I'm not going to tell you my ideas, but the stuff I'm wearing is like the prototype stuff. Like, we're not trying to have you out here looking like no dickhead. We're trying to have you, like, if you go to a boxing event, people are like, oh, it's a nice-ass hoodie. So the thing about these hoodies is that I wear, you know, I wash them, like, specially. But long story short, I got some good shit coming. Also, I'm supposed to get, I'm supposed to get some hats. I got to take care of that this week. Are you going to start doing MMA content? Well, I'm still learning MMA. You know, we're slowly, put it this way, I can do MMA videos and bullshit you around, but I want to know, like, for example, when I cover boxing different than my competitors because my job is to educate you. So if you hear that such and such is fighting for the WBA international super title or some old bullshit, I'm the guy that can tell you what that title mean. I'm the guy that can tell you where the rankings are, who's going to be #1 contender for what, who's likely going to vacate, you know. I'm the political boxing guy, you know. So I want to be able to tell you, well, you know, if Conor McGregor goes back, he's going to have to fight this person, but then if he move up that person and they can make, you know, I'm that guy. You know, but I'm not on that level with mixed martial arts shit. But however, I am learning every day. You know, so, and also I watch every single mixed martial art event. Every single event. Literally. There's no combat sports event that's on the television I have access to that I don't watch. And also, you know, I buy UFC, you know, events. But thank God, because my pop loved that shit. So You know, so we just be chilling. So I buy UFC events every month, and I buy boxing events. So, you know, my cable bill be high as fuck, and it makes me really, really, really sad. But at the same time, it is work, and also, you know, I be just chilling with my pop. So it's kind of like, you know, chill time. You know, so I really want this fight to succeed. But I'm scared, man. I'm scared. Also, let's go look at something real quick. What was I going to pull up? The media workout was nice. I'm talking about, like, as far as if it wasn't so hot out there, I heard it was 120 or so degrees. If it wasn't hot, or it felt like 120 degrees or some more shit, if it wasn't so hot out there, it would have been better. And I like how Canelo didn't bitch up. Y'all want to watch some of it? I can put it on. I can put it on in the background. Why I even ask? Just have it playing in the background. Right? I just have it playing in the background. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up for you. But I like how many fans showed up. I like how they did that, man. I was real happy to see like that fan turnout. Hold on. I'm glad that Canelo, when I was watching it, I was glad that he didn't come out and, you know, do a little ass fucking media workout and then bounce. He really put a little bit of work out there. Now, no media workouts are like Mayweather's. Those shits are spectacles. Every year. I mean, every fight, his shits are spectacles. Like, for one, he always late. That's always. So, you know, if I send somebody there or to a media workout, I tell them, like, listen, these fighters, they say be there at 3, but don't expect for the fighter to show up till like 6 or some shit. But I'm putting the media workout on in the background. Or at least the Canelo part. But yeah, I really like the fan turnout. That was nice. Here we go. I'm not putting money in De La Hoya's pocket. But then you're a piece of shit. It's not about his pocket, man. It's not about his pocket. It's about the sport. We need the show, and we need the show. Fuck is calling me? No. I don't want to answer this. I'm not answering this, man. Is there another phone? The other one down here? No. See, here's the thing. Oscar De La Hoya didn't send those racist emails about Al Heyman. That was somebody who worked for Ring TV that sent that stuff to the publicist of Al Heyman. I mean, of Golden Boy Promotions. So there was a lot of like misinformation about that. However, it was fucked up. But people saying, "Oh, Golden Boy is racist." How can you say Golden Boy as a whole is racist? Now, however, do I doubt that De La Hoya would say some shit like that to an extent? No. Do I think that De La Hoya is racist? No. But we've seen that De La Hoya can get hot-headed, but people put the blame on him and Golden Boy Promotions like it was him. And also, it was a writer for Ring TV that sent that stuff. And what they did was, it worked because they tried to convince Al Heyman, when it came to that lawsuit with Golden Boy, they put that out there to sway, well, look, you can't take them seriously because look at the type of people they hire. You know, it's really too deep, but it was a legal strategy, and it worked because they knew that, oh, well, once people see this, they're going to think Golden Boy's racist. You know? So, trust me, I know the deal. You know, I know the deal, but then as soon as that shit came out, exactly what Heyman and his team wanted is people like, oh, Golden Boy is racist. You know, so I peeped it. And also, Golden Boy, like, put it this way. Bernard Hopkins is a very outspoken black man. I don't think, even though he did, I do feel his ass lied about his ankle. His ankle wasn't hurt. He fell on his head, and then he said his ankle was hurt. You know, didn't give that young fighter his props. You know, but I don't think that, you know, and he is the vice president or some shit, right? He has a very high position. I believe he's the vice president because he got a promotion when Richard Schaefer, you know, left Golden Boy or whatever that situation was. You know, so I just feel like I don't want to talk about this racist shit, man. I don't want to. Let's talk about boxing. But anyway, like I said, I like the turnout for the media workout. You know, because I was thinking like, all right, it's a couple of days. This was on Monday. So I'm like, all right, it's a couple of days after Mayweather McGregor. You got to capitalize off of this money grab. So I like what Tom Loeffler was talking about on the media call about how, you know, boxing, like we need to capitalize off of this. I'm not saying that Oscar don't hate Mayweather. You just bringing up random ass facts that nobody give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about that. And what does it have to do with anything? I'm not saying Oscar no saint, for crying out loud. You've seen the photos. One of those photos, literally, I talk about it all the time. One of those photos really affected me. You know, the one where he got the hat on with the rocks glass and he like this with the glass with his ass out, his ass up in the air. No. I can't look at those photos, man, because he was my childhood boxing idol. I can't look at that shit. You know, they be fucking with me. You know, but overall, I do and can relate with him very heavily because of the addiction problems he's had in the past. So he always has a special place in my heart, man. I just wish he never did that shit, man. I wish he never did that shit. Getting high with those thoughts. Drinking and getting high with those thoughts. But I never understood, like, how do you get so high and drunk? How do you get so high and drunk that a bitch tell you, yo, put this fishnet on, bro? Like, yeah, baby, put these fishnets on. Oh, yeah, baby. Put your gloves on with the fishnets. I'm gonna take a picture of you. You high as shit. It's crazy. I don't never want to be that level high. Ever. It's crazy. Some crazy shit. Those pictures are crazy as fuck. Like, we be laughing about it, but those fucking Oscar De La Hoya pictures are traumatic. That is a mentally chaotic mess. I can't look at those, man. I can't look at them. You know, but the good thing is he's very successful. He's in a good place in life. And Golden Boy Promotions is doing very, very good. Now, they don't have a lot of well-known fighters, but they have a lot of up-and-coming, young, undefeated fighters that are going to be stars in the future. You know, so, and they're investing heavily in their younger fighters. That's what their ESPN deal is. Their ESPN deal is different than Top Ranks. Top Ranks is to promote major boxing. Golden Boys is for their up and coming fighters and their older seasoned fighters to keep them active. Guys like you know, Mauricio Herrera and Solo Carras. You know. No, let me tell you some real shit. You know, she's a little crazy, but I love her to death. His baby mom. I'm not gonna say her name, but she cool as shit. You wouldn't even think she was De La Hoya son. I keep saying baby mom. That's, you know, his son grown now. You know, so long story short, you know, I talked to her once about it, and I was like, yo, is Oscar like, you know? She was like, no, he not just like, you know, he a freak nigga, but, you know, no, Oscar, you know. So that's why I was like, all right, cool, you know. So, you know, like Oscar not homosexual, you know, but he just a freak nigga. There's no better way to put it. Oh, excuse my language. Locker room talk. You know? Yeah, that's what we need. Boxing, listen, there's an art to selling fights. There's an art to selling fights. Like, for example, Canelo's got to start speaking English. Don't get me wrong. No, if you see his baby mom, you wouldn't think you wouldn't think like, yo, she a regular ass chick. Like, no, I'm talking about she bad. Like, she older now, but she bad. Like, former model. But she like hood. You know, like, it's crazy. So first, when she told me, like, you know, I didn't believe her at first. And then I was like, oh, shit. Like, you really, this is, you know? So she used to give me, like, little inside tips and shit. But anyway, no, enough on that. Canelo got to start speaking English, man. You know? You know, look, I mean, look at that turnout. Like, that media workout was lit. I'm glad they did it open to the public, even though it would have been a lot. Yeah, I got Rosetta Stone. I downloaded that shit. You know, so I got to start using it, man. Like, I can understand Hispanic. You know, I can understand you Hispanics. You know, so if y'all be saying some shit, I can understand it. And I can definitely read it, but I got to start speaking it, right? That'll put me to the next level. You know, that's how I learned to do, like, this boxing media shit. Like, what I would do is, like, at night, you know, even when it come to these programs and everything, like, I just had my headphones and I just be listening to tutorials on fucking YouTube or have it playing in the background, like, hours and hours. I did that for a whole damn near year straight. Like, when I had fell off the earth on YouTube, I was only putting out like 5 videos or some shit a month. I just was researching shit. Yeah, these guys got it, you know, I don't want to talk about the money grab in this video, but you had 2 guys who knew how to sell themselves. Boxing, and even when it comes to media, like, did you notice, like, our job as media is not to really report on the fight. Yes, we're to report on the fight, but we are to report on the fight and get people hyped. My job is to get you hyped. My job is to be like, yo, you know, my job is to reach out to, like, the younger fans. Even though I'm 34, I don't want to be one of those media members that I'm in a suit and tie and I'm like, well, you know, Canelo's looking really strong. And even though, no, we're going to talk about the real shit. You know? Shout out to all the side chicks that went to Vegas this past week and upgrade to baby mama. That's true. You know, I heard, listen, I've been getting the videos and everything. Vegas was crazy as shit. You know, I would have been, you know, paranoid, anxiety, all them people, them drunks. I told you the Irish was coming. The Irish, they was fighting in movie theaters. The Irish. You know? But I'm glad Canelo, even though it was hot as shit, I'm glad he did like a media workout. And also, he looking huge. Do you think this will do 1 million buys? See, here's the thing. I'm gonna say you guys are pieces of shit. You are pieces of shit. You're pieces of shit, because you're gonna talk about boxing, but unless you buy it, I want to see your receipts. When after Canelo versus Golovkin, I want to see the receipt. I want to see that you brought the fight. You better buy the fight. Yeah, there's Vada. You know, I did get a question in the last media call. I asked about the drug testing. Who is this? Telemarketing. I don't know, fucking calling me, man. Phones be ringing off the hook. You should buy the fight. No, Floyd doesn't want to sue Conor for the leak. We're not talking about that until my Mayweather-McGregor video later on. That's going to be about 7 p.m. You know, I have to do 2 streams, and then I have to get back into my regular, you know, 5 to 10 minute video pattern, you know? And I got a lot of shit to do before I leave for Vegas. I'm leaving for Vegas soon, you know? I'm leaving for Vegas soon. So we're going to be here for another 40 minutes. I think this fight can do, listen, if boxing fans do what they're supposed to do, 1.5 million. 1.5 million. If it does 1 million, I think it'll still be a success. But here's like Canelo, we're relying on what they did. They established Canelo, obviously, you know, Mexicans, you know, the Mexicanos. Oh, and by the way, for those who don't know, I'm half El Negro Mexicano. My Mexicans call me, my Mexican friends call me the Black. So you know, I can relate to, you know, the Mexican heritage. We got to support, you know. But when it comes to Golovkin, they've built him Mexican style. They've built him with a Mexican fan base. They've talked about how they wanted to establish him in New York to get like casual fan appeal. So he's growing casual fan appeal because it's the media capital of the world, and you know, and they've built him over in LA with the Mexican, you know, the Mexican fan base with the Mexican style. So smart marketing, but how much does he bring in when you put those two together? Like, for example, is a whole bunch of fucking Kazakhstanians gonna come over here? You know, like for the like the Irish did for McGregor? Are they, you know, do we have a whole bunch of Kazakhstans, you know, everywhere? Like, where's the Kazakhstan casuals? We don't even see no Kazakhstan casuals. You know? So in my opinion, Golovkin's pay-per-view buys are going to come from, you know, hardcore fans that, you know, like, oh shit, Canelo Golovkin fighting each other, and the Hispanic fans, and I'm going to say, I guess, you know, Eastern, as far as like Russian, Ukrainian, you know, I don't know. You know? We are not talking about Mayweather versus McGregor in this video. This is not, the money grab is over. I have to do, let me tell you what my schedule is going to be. I have to do this stream on the money grab as a whole, you know, like, because I got to watch the fight again, and you know, my opinions are a little different. So I have to do an in-depth stream on that. Then I have to do another video, a short one, talking about the pay-per-view buys. And then I have to do probably like 2 more videos over the next couple of weeks on that. And then I'm done. You know, I'm done with the money grab. The money, I've grabbed it. I'm done with the money grab. We had 5,000 something people watching on after the fight. You know, shit was crazy around here. Oh, and guess what? T-Street's not stuck at 27,000 or 25,000, what it was. People's like, you've been stuck at 25,000. We've gained, what, 1,200 subscribers in like a month, some shit? So, you know, we got to keep the momentum going, baby. We got to keep the momentum going. You know, but yeah, man, the money grab is over. I'm tired of that shit. So what I got to do now is I'm getting my shit together, because I got to devote all my attention onto this. You know, I got to cover the shit out this fight. I got to cover the shit out this fight. Well, see, here's the thing. Canelo, if Canelo can do what, 350K with Liam Smith, what was that? I guess let's go look at the Wikipedia numbers. I guess let's do it this way. Let me do this, right? Right over there. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in. Whoops, it's too much. There's too much zoom. Let's stop this for a minute. We're going to look at Canelo's pay-per-view buys, according to Wikipedia. Now, we're going to talk about pay-per-view buys as a whole. Hold on, I'm going to zoom in. Or I can just do this, duh. I can just do this. Floyd Canelo 2.2. Canelo Angulo 350. This seems to be about his average. Like, if you put him against anybody, you know. Zohan, don't be put on timeout with saying like fucking shit to get my attention. Why would I be mad about that? Let me see. What else? Laura 300K. And what else? Kodo 900. Khan 600. Liam Smith 300. You see, that seems like depending on like I think he can go on the pay-per-view and buy anybody. I think he can go on a pay-per-view and fight anybody and get about 350,000 or so. You look at Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs, 170K. Oh, yeah, when you look at Golovkin, 150K. Canelo Chavez. And I thought this would do better than this, but that's kind of a good sign. But then again, no matter how you view Chavez, he has a large like Mexican fan base. So you put those two Mexicans, those two young Mexicans together, this should have did 1.5. So if this doesn't do 1.5, you know, I feel everybody was hype about Canelo Chavez, and people really believed that Chavez had a chance, including myself. But I mean, wouldn't you think that Canelo Chavez would do $1 million? And I'm supposed to believe that Canelo Golovkin would do $1 million? For Canelo Golovkin to do $1 million, you need hardcore fans to come up, you know, hard. But if you have these two young fighters who have casual fan appeal too, both Canelo and Chavez Jr. have casual appeal. Most Chavez Jr., you know, casual appeal comes from his pomp. So we're not about Golovkin versus Canelo, you know, I don't know. I don't know. And another thing about pay-per-view buys is these numbers, promoters have been known over years now to inflate pay-per-view buys. You know? So I don't know, man. I want this fight to be successful. That's why I'm telling you fucking weirdos to buy it. You know, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna try my best to convince you motherfuckers. And I shouldn't have to convince you. You know, but I'm gonna do my best. I've been thinking about it. I said, listen, like I got a couple more days to get my shit together. You know, and then, you know, I gotta fucking force this fight down your throats. You sure the Mexicans won't all jump on it? Pause. But whatever that means. If they didn't do it for Canelo Chavez, though, you know, will they do it for Golovkin? Canelo Golovkin. Will they? They didn't do it for Canelo Chavez. Will they do it for this? You know, press conferences are on with press conferences. You know what? How much is the pay-per-view? Good question. Let's see. Canelo Golovkin. She didn't understand me. Let me look it up. Mute the shit. Let me look it up. I'm sure it's $74.99. They still got Mayweather McGregor shit up. They disrespectful. They disrespectful over there at Comcast. They still selling that shit. They still slinging that casual cocaine. So you can't count me. I have to buy. Oh, we got to talk about the undercard. The undercard has been finalized. Let me pull it up. The undercard has been finalized. Wait, I don't want y'all to see my email. Some other fights official too. You got just to get this out of the way, you got the Adam Maris fight. We're gonna talk about those in later videos. We're gonna talk about those in later videos. But let me pull up the undercard. Got a half an hour left. We good. Hold on, I'm pulling the undercard. Give me 1 minute. Oh, you won't be pleased. You won't be pleased. You won't be pleased. Undefeated contenders and prospects to be featured on Canelo vs. Golovkin pay-per-view undercard. Joseph Jojo Diaz Jr. and Jorge Plan Lara to battle in the WBC featherweight title eliminator for the co-main event. Randy Caballero to face Diego De La Hoya in a clash of undefeated contenders for the NABF super bantamweight title. NABF leads to a WBC title, I believe. It's like one of them underling belts. Lightweight contenders Ryan Blue Chip Martin and Francisco Roja to open a pay-per-view telecast. See, I know who these fighters are, and they're young, up-and-coming fighters, so it's just, you would expect a better undercard. But once they gave Roman Gonzalez his own card, in which it was time for him to get his own card, you know, to stop fighting on GGG undercards, you know? I kind of figured, well, who can Golden Boy add? Lucas Matisse? I wonder what's going on with him. But this is undercard. You got Diaz versus Lara, Caballero versus Diego De La Hoya, and Rojo versus Blue Chip Martin. If Golovkin wins, you reckon he will move up and fight the winner of the 160-pound tournament? And that's what I wanted to show you. That's what I wanted to show you. Where are we at? To be in here? I guess I gotta find it first. How about this? I'll do it this way. I'll search it. T Street. Abel Sanchez.
So I know that Golovkin's been getting a lot of flack for his performance against Gennady Ggg. My question to you is, do you think that was a motivating factor in why Oscar felt that, well, we need to get this Canelo deal done, or was this something that was always in the talks, you know, during the negotiations or after or during the build-up to the Jacobs fight?
Well, first of all, let me ask you, did you think Danny Jacobs looked great that night?
No, actually, I had Golovkin winning.
No, but Danny Jacobs looked good.
No, he fought, in my personal opinion, he fought evasive. You know, it was
true, but he looked better than a lot of the opponents that have faced Golovkin in the past.
That is true.
Okay. So for me to say that Golovkin looked bad or didn't perform to his utmost would be degrading the effort by Danny Jacobs. I thought Danny Jacobs fought a great fight. I thought Golovkin had a live dog in front of him. I thought Golovkin did the things that he needed to do in that particular fight to be successful. I think that Danny Jacobs is the second best middleweight in the world, and when Golovkin vacates, like he does, and moves up to 168, I think that Danny Jacobs will be the ruler at 160 without a doubt. We have a different opponent in front of us against Canelo. I think that they're going to give us a different look than Danny did. Danny was huge that night. So feel that Golovkin did the necessary things to beat Jacobs that night. Now it's up to us to formulate a plan completely different and completely away from even thinking about Jacobs to beat Canelo. Jacobs is one fighter, Canelo's a different fighter.
That's not the video I wanted to watch. Basically, if Golovkin wins, they have a rematch clause with Canelo first. If Golovkin wins, they have a rematch clause with Canelo first. If I'm gonna leave this open. But they're talking about 168 and not fighting Billy Joe Saunders. It's like, well, you know, basically Abel Sanchez is not really feeling the idea of fighting Billy Joe Saunders anymore. And also, Billy Joe Saunders has been asking for like some outrageous money. So Saunders is in a situation where he has to look good against Willie Monroe, or, you know, he's got to be impressive. You know? But also, one of the questions, here's the question I was going to ask on the media call. I was going to ask, you know, like, obviously, there's a rematch clause if Canelo wins, if Golovkin wins, but not if Canelo wins. If Canelo doesn't act on his rematch clause, or if, you know, you fight Canelo again, would you stay at 160 pounds? Now, I wasn't going to ask Golovkin that because he don't say some old shit that you don't understand. Now, I've been on many Golovkin media calls. You don't want to ask him questions. I'm telling you, you want to ask Abel Sanchez because Golovkin's going to get up there, start saying, you know, 168 is, it's style. It's not, it's 160 is home. But the people, they up there, you're great champions. You know, you're not going to get nothing. You know, so you got to ask, like, Abel Sanchez, like, the questions. Like, he going to tell you the shit, you know? So, I'm thinking, from what I've researched and what I'm getting from it, is they're talking about going to 168. Like, they're like, yeah, we're going to 168. We done with 160. And I'm thinking because they're looking at bigger money up there, because if you stay that, whoever wins this fight, right, is going to be, you got Jamal Charlo. You know, you got Jamal Charlo, who's the WBC #1 contender. But it's looking like Golovkin and his team don't want that fight, not only because of Jamal Charlo is good, they wouldn't duck him, but they don't see, like, they're looking at, like, well, if we fight Canelo and we making this money, then why would we go back down to fight him? And, I mean, stay at 160 and fight him when we could possibly fight the winner of that World Boxing Super Series tournament that has all that money in it. You see what I'm saying? That World Boxing Super Series tournament is about to be crazy. Like, it's starting soon. And I'm covering all the fights. And I got to start doing more to promote that shit. You know? So I'm hyped for the fight. And like I said, of course I'm buying it. And I just hope that you guys have some souls and you buy the fight too. Do you have a soul? Is there a soul where you're from? Do you have a soul? Your boxing soul should buy this fight. You know? But like I said, you know, we got no fruitful info from this media call. You know, nobody asked about drug testing, but I did in the last media call with the trainers. Nobody asked, you know, about the title situation. You know, pissing me off. Yeah, something's wrong with my mic. People have been telling me my voice seems higher. What's going on with that? I was fucking with some shit earlier. Also, I have a weird echo in here. It's real loud from the air conditioner, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. Ginger, ninja straight from the gates of hell. Okay. George Groves give Golovkin a hard night? I don't think so, because George Groves still has some demons he's got to overcome in the mid-rounds. Yeah, I gotta move my mic closer. I gotta move this because it's attached to the desk. So I gotta take it off and move it closer because this is as far as it can reach, you know? That's why we having to fucking lean in. I'm gonna fix it though. I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, I just don't. I hope that this pay-per-view does. Is my voice still fucked up? Let me listen. Oh, this is nice. What is this? Oh, this is nice. I'm not gonna fix it. Damn, man, I was talking to some chicks like this. We're gonna rock out. Either way, I don't know how to fix it. What do I do? What have I done? I don't know how to fix this shit. So we just gotta rock out. But fuck it. So listen, y'all gotta just deal with it. I don't know what to do. Let me try again. Let me see. I didn't really listen to it. Yeah. But what if that's not? What if there's nothing wrong? What if it's my voice, but I don't know? I feel like I sound the same. Is that really how I sound? I was drinking a lot yesterday. You're saying was better before you got that mic. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. No, it was not. See, here's the thing. I don't know how to mess with the mixer. I got to learn how to use the mixer thing. The mixer thing is on the floor with these knobs and shit. I don't know how to work it. Your shit was better if you got that. I probably stepped on it or kicked it or something and turned something down. I don't know. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets hosed again. It's the lotion in the fucking basket. Damn. Alright. Play with it now. Pause. Dog, what are you talking about? No, I don't want to fuck. Alright, I'm gonna go fuck with it. I kind of don't want to. What if all this shit crash? Yeah, I got a mixer on the floor. I think I kicked it. Was I sounding like this the whole stream? Was I sounding like this the whole stream? And nobody told me? Or did it just start? Y'all had me here sounding like this the whole stream. Y'all some sons of a bitches. Y'all not no friends. Y'all, it's good now. I nudged it again. I nudged it with my foot. Let me check, because y'all be lying. Y'all be lying. Let me check. Y'all had me here sounding like this the whole stream.
It ain't fixed. I nudged it, so I don't want to nudge it no more. There's a whole bunch of wires and shit down there. I might kick some shit out. You know? Yo, De La Hoya called and said, don't fix it. He's going to turn on... What? Leave Oscar out of this, man. He was mad as shit about Mayweather McGregor, though. Y'all saw that tweet? He was mad. He was mad as shit. I can only imagine like how he's feeling about those pay-per-view numbers, but hopefully, I'm hoping that the trickle down, you know, that those pay-per-view buys trickle down to like made to the Canelo, you know, Golovkin fight. I want them to be like, oh, I want like those casual UFC fans like, oh, there's another boxing event coming on this weekend. And in 3 weeks, let's buy that shit. I hear Mayweather fought this guy, and this other guy's the guy that people want Mayweather to fight. You know, so I'm hoping that happens. You know, because the only way the money grab be successful for boxing, even if that's the number 6.5 million pay-per-view buys, I'm hoping that those casual UFC fans now become boxing fans, or a nice portion of them. Or a nice portion of them say, okay, I like boxing. Let me start following the story and shit. So that was my goal with covering Mayweather McGregor, is to like give people hope and a chance that, you know, that to think that McGregor was going to win, you know, and however, not clown Conor, but be like optimistic, you know, and to try to keep those people who are mixed martial arts only fans or part-time boxing fans to say, okay, all right, I'm going to buy this other fight too, because I made sure when it comes to my long, like Mayweather McGregor videos, I always said, just going to say now, you son of a bitch, you better buy Canelo versus Golovkin. If you brought Mayweather versus McGregor, right, and you call yourself a boxing fan, and you're a hardcore boxing fan that want to be talking about the intricacies of the sport, then you know, good piece of shit, you better buy Canelo versus Golovkin. I mean it. I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to hurl insults your way. I'm like, you ain't no real boxing fan, boy. I'm like, you know what you are? You're a piece of shit. And I'm going to spit on the ground. I'm like, you didn't buy Canelo versus Golovkin, did you? And then I'm going to spit on the ground. I'll probably flip your wife the bird. I'm like, you're married to him. He's no boxing fan. I'm going to question what you buy. If I see you in the market, I'm going to be like, yo, bro, I see you getting that Henny. If I see you in the liquor store, I'm like, yes, you getting that Henny. You better downgrade to that fucking Jack Daniels or that Canadian Miss. You better not buy no new shoes. Don't buy no new shoes. Don't let me see you somewhere you got some new kicks. I'm like, yo, so what's up? You buying the fight? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm buying, but you're not waiting for my girl. You got those new sneaks on, though. But you said you was buying the fight. You know? I'm going to talk some shit to you. I'm going to talk some shit. I was already talking to one of my homies earlier. I was like, yeah, you know that fight coming on. He was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to watch that, John. No, motherfucker, you make sure you watch it. You watch the fight. And to them people on social media, I'm going to start cursing at you too. You know? I don't care. Is my voice like back, I guess? Golovkin by TKO. Possible. Possible. Let's not forget. People, listen, I've been ruffling some feathers, right? I uploaded this the other day. I ruffled some feathers with this. Now, I know that the shit is old. I know that the shit is old. But I know this shit is old. All right? So I'm putting a disclaimer out there. I know this shit is old. But
There's a lot of excitement about Saul Alvarez's first appearance here in the United States. And as we mentioned, the official record 31-0-1 with 23 knockouts. He says that it really should be 44-0-1 with 33 knockouts. That's pretty good for a 19-year-old.
Very, very good record. You know, and that's typical, I think, of so many guys. Julio Cesar Chavez, Antonio Barra, a lot of those guys turn professional at 14 and 15 down there. So they get their amateur experience as professional fighters.
If the kid has already had 44 professional fights, as he says he has, at age 19, is that too fast a start for his career?
No, I don't think so, because they match him very carefully. They are not fighting quality fighters down there. And as he said when we asked him at the meeting why he didn't have a longer amateur career, he said there's not a good amateur program in Mexico.
Jose Miguel Cotto, as you can see, is a body puncher. Hard, workman-like fighter. Regarded as a really good test tonight for Alvarez. Eric Gomez, the matchmaker at Golden Boy. Golden Boy will handle American promotion for Alvarez, at least right now, and he seemed to feel as though Cotto was exactly the right kind of sturdy, difficult, but not impenetrable opponent for Alvarez to be facing. There's a good right hand by the 19-year-old. And he is wobbled by a left hook, and he's in trouble, and Cotto's dumping him. And maybe the matchmaking was a mistake, but no, he gets out of trouble, still wobbling, still having trouble getting his feet under it. Miss, he dodges a right hand, comes back with a right. His solution is to fight.
He should be clinching.
He's fighting instead of clinching.
Well, when you're 19 and you've been so successful, you don't know a lot about having to clinch. But he's fighting back, he's trying to be intelligent and patient, and maybe his head is cleared by now.
Cleared. Cotto did not get to him fast enough. I think he's cleared up, and he's kind of got his legs back on himself right now.
Look at his bald ass here. See my bald head?
To get at him fast enough.
Well, the same punch that landed before can land
Hold
again
on.
if you can try to get to the man while he's still hurt.
It was a left hook that wobbled him.
You forgot about that, right?
Alvarez is trying to solve
We're going to talk about it, though.
Big right hand.
Yeah, he's physically a bigger man. Cotto by nature really seemed to have the structure best for 140 pounds. But for this fight, they're fighting at a weight which is probably more comfortable for the younger fighter, Alvarez.
Yeah, and you can see that Alvarez is a sturdy welterweight with a big upper body.
And he's only 19, and
we got to watch those dance moves.
44 professional fights.
I know it's old. I still had to show it. I know it's old. I know it's old.
Too fast a start for his career?
No,
I know. We got to watch it, right?
Fighters down there. And as he said when we asked him at the
We watched Golovkin get tagged up by Gennady Jacobs earlier.
Not a good amateur program in Mexico.
Jose Miguel Cotto, as you can see, is a body puncher. Hard, workman-like fighter. Regarded as a really good test tonight for Alvarez. Eric Gomez, the matchmaker at Golden Boy. Golden Boy will handle American promotion for Alvarez, at least right now, and he seemed to feel as though Cotto was exactly the right kind of sturdy, difficult, but not impenetrable opponent for Alvarez to be facing. There's a good right hand by the 19-year-old. And he is wobbled by a left hook, and he's in trouble, and Cotto's dumping him. And maybe the matchmaking was a mistake, but no, he gets out of trouble, still wobbling, still having trouble getting his feet under it. Miss, he dodges a right hand, comes back with a right. His solution is to fight.
He should be clinching.
He's fighting instead of clinching.
Well, when you're 19 and you've been so successful, you don't know a lot about having to clinch. But he's fighting back, he's trying to be intelligent and patient, and maybe his head is cleared by now.
Cotto did not get to him fast enough. I think he's cleared up, and he's kind of got his legs back on himself right now.
Well, Cotto sure tried to get at him fast enough.
Well, the same punch that landed before can land again if you can try to get to the man while he's still hurt.
It was a left hook that wobbled him. Alvarez is trying to solve everything with one big right hand.
Yeah, he's physically a bigger man. Cotto by nature really seemed to have the structure best for 140 pounds. But for this fight, they're fighting at a weight which is probably more comfortable for the younger fighter, Alvarez.
Yeah, and you can see that Alvarez is a sturdy welterweight with a big upper body.
And he's only 19 and came in at 160 today, so who knows how long he can hold that weight.
uppercut by Alvarez lands. Almost landed that sizzling right-hand shot. So Alvarez makes it out of the round, although he was in serious trouble.
They have ever faced.
That's very true. So attack and try to manipulate the attack. You know what I mean? And that Jacobs
stalking gingerly but steadily. So for Jacobs, it's get your shot in and bottle him up and stop if you can.
They say right here, Jacobs little shocker. Okay, with the shot right here, boom. He gets hit with the shot, you know, deters him a little bit. He's just trying to.
How you seeing it through 5, Kevin?
I got it scored 49-45. G has to figure out the schematic of what Jacobs landed.
Well, he's brought his share of variables into the mix.
Here we take a look.
Golovkin now. Double jab, good right hand by Jake.
Here we take a look at some action in the round. Jacobs landing those hooks, attacking. You're not used to seeing Golovkin do that. He lands a left hook and a right.
And Triple G's attempt to get inside the jab.
As far as boxing wise, that you can maneuver, you can box and stuff. And this is what I was actually looking for, something like this. That's exactly what G needs for exchanges and out. To prove his trainer wrong. His trainer wants him to move, his trainer wants him to move.
Make reach work for him. We'll talk about this more next round, Kevin, but you have to be at least a decent enough puncher from both sides to be able to sell the power.
Here we take a look at the exchanges, how Jacobs landing these shots. He's got the will to throw punches at Triple G, and Triple G backs off.
At this point, Golovkin has put his guys away. So, dog, as they would say, coming into this fight. Now he's squared up.
Take a look at Jacobs. Jacobs having his moments. He's throwing combinations. He's throwing shots. He's actually competing with Triple G. He's actually being able to hold his own in these combinations and the exchanges.
Good right hand by Paul. Lead right by Golovkin.
You know, I saw this goddamn commercial. It's this show I watch called Life Below Zero. I love that shit. I love, like, you know, if I could, you know, my hermit lifestyle, like, I would live in Alaska. But then again, you can worry about the polar ice caps out and shit, you know, so, and, you know, they be having, like, a real hard time getting, like, whatever the case may be. It can all be bold.
No.
How old is he, Doug? He brings it.
I know what I have in front of me. A little something about boxing. The greatest moments have always been when the best fight the best. Pay attention. History is about to repeat itself. Canelo versus Golovkin, Saturday, September 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, live on pay-per-view.
Live on pay-per-view.
Canelo, be bold! Hey, Canelo.
That's what his eye gonna look like after Golovkin getting.
Be bold.
Nah, he noticed the biggest fight of his career, yo. I think, you know, I think Golovkin, in my opinion, is the favorite. You're gonna watch the fight with a group of casuals? Hell no, I don't watch fights with people. I was just telling my home that earlier. Like, you know, I don't watch the fight with people. I watch the fight with a female every now and then. You know, I just laid that law to her, let her know, listen, like, sweetheart, we can want to fight, but can you, like, not be on no casual shit? If somebody get knocked down or beat up, you don't be screaming. You know how females are. They be like, oh, my God, did you see that? Yes, I saw it. It's my job. You know? Yeah, I do kind of want some Tecate. I guess my Mexicano side, El Negro Mexicano side. You know? So we're going to hang out for another 10 minutes or so. Like I said, I'm doing another stream later on. I'm actually going to be consistent. I'm going to do it in 3 hours. And what we're going to do is, we're going to do a nice, detailed video on the money grab. Or, to be told, I can take an hour off. I ain't got shit to do. I mean, I do have shit to do, but this is work, so I'm working. You know, I could take an hour off and come back, but it'll be my first video, you know, on the money grab, you know, aftermath. And then after I do that video, the next video is probably going to be on the pay-per-view buys, and I'm going to start pumping out all these short videos. And also, I'm sitting on, I hate when it's happened. Like, I get like a bunch of videos and shit from all over the place, and I take too long to get them out. So I got to hire somebody to do that. So I have all these videos from the media workout from Canelo. I still got all this Mayweather-McGregor post-fight stuff to upload. You know, stuff from Mike Garcia and all that, man. It's a lot. You know, so I gotta get back on that. Yeah, my mic sounds funny. I messed with the mixer. You know? I messed with the mixer. So I don't know what I kicked it. So I tried to kick it again, and I think I made it a little bit better, but I'm not gonna kick it anymore. So very expensive piece of equipment. So I'll make sure before I start my next stream, my mic's cool. I hope I just don't mess nothing up. So yeah, and we was talking about the pay-per-view buys. We were on the media call earlier for those who don't know. And long story short, nothing happened.
Triple G Promotions, one of the lead promoters in this, one of the men who was responsible for bringing...
We didn't find out any valuable information. Like, when I get on media calls, my goal is to take a headline, but also ask the stuff that you guys want to know. Yes, Crawford has dropped his IBF title, and expect him to drop the other two soon. My name is Steve. Show the fight on the live stream, T. What? What do you mean? Do you want to get put on timeout? Put on timeout. Somebody, what do you mean show the live fight? Are you asking me to illegally show a full fight here on my established brand channel? Scum. I already know you're not going to buy the fight. You're scum. People make me sick, man. I'm really mad, right? I'm really mad right now. I don't believe he asked me that. But anyway, back to the fight, man. Is AJ going to drop the WBA? Nope. Don't fall for Luis Ortiz's bullshit. Big Luis Ortiz supporter. Interviewed him earlier this year. But the WBA is not going to strip Anthony Joshua. He's like the ultimate, like, champion for the organizations. Not only do he not cause like no controversial shit, but he brings in a lot of money. They're not stripping that dude. You know? Also, I don't know what's going on with him and Wilder. They need to sign that contract because that's supposed to be confirmed. That's the fight that's supposed to be happening next. They need to sign that contract. You know? And then they can eliminate each other. Canelo will go back to 155 unless he try to fight Lemieux next after he beats Ggg. That's a fight they put on the next CBS fight. If they get another CBS fight, a free TV CBS fight, they should do that. They should do Wilder versus Ortiz for that. Rumors were Spence was going to fight Collazo, and he was supposed to return September next month in Dallas. So he might not be back until November, I guess now. It is not in the WBA's best interest to strip Luis Ortiz. Also, understand that I don't know where Luis Ortiz is getting his information, but the WBA released a statement. The WBA released a statement. Let me explain the situation. The WBA, why are we talking about this during the Canelo stream? But I'll finish my thought. The WBA sent out a statement saying that they're working with the IBF to allow Anthony Joshua to keep both of his titles, but he has to fight Pulev first. So he's already going to fight Pulev, and then Ortiz supposed to be next, and then Wilder, and then the wild card in between that is the winner of Fury versus Parker. So he's going to fight Luis Ortiz next, but he has to fight Pulev to satisfy his IBF obligation. Yeah, Mikey Garcia called out Cologne, but no. You know, I am hungry though. It's time to eat like a nice healthy meal, and then I'll be able to do hey, is my voice still fucked up on here? Also, some fights got confirmed today. October the 14th. Let me read them to you. Yeah, we got 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna read these fights to you real quick. Yeah, let me zoom out. Leosin Cruz versus Chris Avos. Abner Maris versus Andres Gutierrez. What's the undercard? That is going to be on October the 14th on Fox. Right? On Fox. On Fox. But get this, though. Get this. Where's it at? On that same day in New York, right? On the same day in New York, you have Laura versus Gauchard, Charlo versus Lubin, and Hurd versus Trout. 2 networks, 5 meaningful, somewhat meaningful fights. Now, I like this card. I'm going to this card. The Santa Cruz Abner Maris situation. I got to talk about that in a long, thorough video. You know? So yeah, any questions before I bounce? Any questions before I bounce? So like I said, the next video I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the money grab. And then I'm going to get back to pump out regular videos. And take a break from the live streams. So, you know, obviously I live stream all the media calls. I'll start my podcast. It's going to be on Mondays between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then, of course, I'll do my live streams after the fight. And if need be, we'll do live streams for press conferences, live streams for workouts, live streams for everything. Yes, we are covering Rung Visai Surakat. Rung Visai versus Chocolatito. I don't call no man Chocolatito. Roman Gonzalez too. Yeah, I'm going to be back in about 3 hours, maybe less. I got to go eat. I'm going to go check on the pops. You know, open some mail or something. Some shit. Got a lot going on. My favorite wing flavor, I like hot wings. But not hot to the point where I'm having a hard time passing them through my bowels. Wings are awesome. I think I'm going to have some wings. You know, yesterday was my birthday, and I went to bed hungry on my birthday. What kind of shit is that? I went to bed drunk, but I was hungry and drunk. I did have some Ruby Tuesdays, though. I had a free coupon for my birthday. That was in the afternoon for a burger. And then the day before, I had prime rib. So, it was all right. It was all right. It was all right. Black seed oil. What the hell is that? Is that food? Is that a seasoning? Can I fry my wings in? Yeah, I went to bed hungry. I'm hungry as shit now. So I gotta go upstairs and say something. Yeah, we're gonna be here for another 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I think I started. I like my streams to be exactly like a nice number, like 2 hours. And I turned the timer off. I don't even know how many people been watching. Usually these streams be like 40. People don't like media calls because they be too boring. They be too boring. People be like, oh man, I ain't sticking around for this shit. Ain't talk about nothing. You know? But yeah, man, my life is, I'm glad that the birthday thing's over. I'm glad that the money grab's over. This shit really took a toll on me, covering this shit, man. I'm glad that I can go back to normal, man. I'm really glad I can go back to normal. But you know what I'm going to do, guys? You guys have a good night, man. I'll be back in about 3 hours or so, if I don't pass out. Because I didn't get too much rest. So I'm going to be back in about 3 hours. And we're going to talk about the money grab and just move on from there. In the meantime, I'm going to probably upload some videos from something. You know, maybe that Mikey Garcia talking about the fight. Or some shit I got in the archives. In the Fight View 360 archives. Of T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I'm just gonna in a few minutes I'm gonna post a link to the new chat. I mean to the new stream coming up later. Oh, make sure you subscribe.